Hello, guys. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We have a very special guest with us today in the house.
Hi.
I don't want to say much about her. She's going to tell us a lot about herself. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. If you're new today, joining us for the first time, I am Agbofiona, registered nurse, originally from Cameroon, working and living in Dubai, UAE. On this channel, we bring you content about lifestyle in Dubai, nursing opportunities in Dubai, how to grab your nursing licensure in Dubai, and also information about nurses and other health personnel in other parts of the world. And that is why Joy is with us on this channel today. So you're
Hi.
so welcome, Joy, our
Thank
great midwife.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So good to be here as well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
can you please tell us a bit about yourself? Tell us about yourself.
Okay. I used to hear this question a lot because we had it so many times during our
Interview.
nurse in interview into the UK.
I know,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, my name is Joy Gonoche, like it's boldly written on the screen. I'm a nurse, I'm a midwife, registered nurse and midwife with the NMC. But I'm currently practicing as a midwife in the UK, and I've been here for a year now, 1 year, and I applied directly as a midwife. I'm not as a nurse, so that's just a little thing about me. Yeah, I also have a channel which she's going to talk to you about definitely, but yeah, that's it. That's my
Of
life
course.
as
Okay.
in one sentence.
All right. So, as
Yeah.
Joy mentioned, she's a midwife. So, this video today is for midwives that are overseas, midwives from Africa, from Nigeria, from Cameroon, and other parts of Africa
Yeah.
and the world that are intending to move to UK to seek greener pasture. So, midwives, stay tuned, grab your bowl of popcorn, and watch this video right till the end. All right. And she said she's been in the UK for 1 year. So, can
Yeah.
you tell us about your midwifery journey from Nigeria back to the UK? Did you just get an agency, go over to the UK to work, or you got a job? How was your transition?
So I didn't go through an agency. I applied directly, and I started with the first examination, which was IELTS. You can start from anyone, but I did start with writing my IELTS, making sure I get the necessary band score for that before proceeding to job applications and all that. So after getting my IELTS, you have to have your international passport, of course, before you get this. So international passport, getting my IELTS, I started preparing for my CBT exams, the CBT for midwives. And when I passed that, and then the next thing was job search. Started applying for jobs, going on track jobs, Indeed, and different places, making sure I had a perfect CV, good supporting statements, and prayers as well. And when I got a job, I went through the necessary document check, got the COS, certificate of sponsorship, applied for my visa, booked my flights. Boom, I'm in UK.
Whoa, fantastic. So,
Yeah.
if I got you right, correct me where I make an error, please.
Yes,
You
fine.
first of all got your international passport ready, and the
Yeah.
international passport was valid for at least 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your IELTS, you wrote your IELTS, and what was the band score of the IELTS that was required?
Okay, so the band score for the IELTS is 7, and then going back to the international passports, my international passport was valid for 5 years.
5 years.
So I
Fantastic.
had it
Awesome.
since like 2018 or something. I just had it and kept it somewhere. So it was still, still within the validity period. And it was valid for 5 years. The IELTS is usually valid for 2 years, I think. Yeah, two
Yes,
years.
please.
And the necessary band score is 7 for nurses
Oh,
and midwives is 7. And these
oh,
days they said they made the necessary change, a new change that you can combine two results. So meaning if you for instance have 6.5 overall in one result, or 6, and
yeah.
you write again, even if you're
Mhm.
having a lower score in that one, let's say 6 or 6.5, and you're able to combine it and get the necessary band scores in each of the sections, which is the reading, listening, writing, and speaking. You're able to combine it. It makes up to be one. You can use it. So that's that for that. So after the IELTS, CBT exams, and then job search, get a job in a reputable trust or care home. So you can either work in a care home or work in an NHS trust. And when you get a job, your employers are going to go through your documents, check with you, make sure that you've submitted your documents, your IELTS CBT results, your passport, your certificate as well. Have your CV ready, and then they are going to start processing your certificate of sponsorship, which they will give you to apply for visa with. And when you apply for your visa, they'll book a flight for you as well. So some trusts, they do tell you that you can either book your visa, pay for it, do it, and apply for your visa, book your flight by yourself, and when you come over to the UK, they will refund you, or they will do it for you directly from Nigeria. So it's two ways depending on the trust you're working with, but either ways you're going to get your money back, that's for sure. So whether you pay by yourself first or later, you're going to get your money back. And when you get to the UK, that's when you take the second part of the NMC test of competence, which is the OSCE exams.
Okay,
You
please,
know.
before we go there, all
Yes.
right. Thank you so much. You have
That.
elaborated all of this very well. So one good news that Joy just mentioned is that it's now possible to combine two IELTS score results.
Yeah.
Most often people get frustrated by not getting the required band on the first trial. So like
Yeah.
what Joy said, can combine two IELTS score results. So
Yeah.
in her journey, like what she said, she had her passport that had a good validity. So you must have a passport with a good validity. She
Yeah.
took her IELTS test results and passed. Then she
Mm-hmm.
took her CBT. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it means the gateway to getting job offers from overseas is getting
Yes.
these documents in place. You
Yeah.
must pass IELTS results, you must pass your IELTS exams, and you get your CBT done and dusted. With that, you are fully armed to get jobs overseas from
Yeah.
employer. So that was
Yes.
what she did. She was able to get the job offer because she had what was needed. And like she mentioned, some of the trusts will pay for your air ticket, provide you with the necessary documents you need for you to go
Mm-hmm.
for visa, and you go over. Other trusts can still ask you to pay for your air ticket and your visa application fee, and it will be refunded to you once you get to the UK.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hope I didn't leave out anything.
You didn't.
All right, awesome. So,
Yeah.
how long did this process take you? How long was the job search, first of all? And after the job search, after you landed the job, how long did it take for you to transition from Nigeria to the UK?
Yeah, good thing. Thank you for actually, separating it into two sections, because the job search is a very, very long area to start. It's a very
I
long
know what
period.
I can imagine job search. I know what that means.
Oh my God, like that's like the major thing. So the way I just
Of
said
course,
it, like apply for job, get it. So it's not
it's not
that
chewing
easy.
gum.
It's not that easy. You have to actually go through it and apply for series of jobs. Apply for
Yeah.
series, I mean series. I did apply for over 400 jobs before I was able to get, like,
God,
I started getting
imagine.
job applications, job offers that finally gave me, certificate of sponsorship. It's not like my supporting statement wasn't good enough or my CV wasn't good enough. It's just the luck, like, because a lot of people are applying for these things, and you just have to pray that your own gets there on time before they've
Yeah,
gotten the number they need. You understand? So you have to pray
true.
that your own gets there on time, get to their hand on time, and when it finally gets there, you have to make sure that your CV, your support statement is able to speak for you, because when it
Yes.
gets to the right hands and it gets there on time, and then they are looking at the CV, is nothing to write home about.
That's the tool that sells you out. Yes, I did a video
Yeah.
on that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. So you have to make sure it gets there. And so talking about the length of time, I would say roughly 3 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Although that's not so long compared to what I hear people going through these days, but I was applying every
Mm,
day. I was
yeah.
applying every day. That's what makes the difference. I was applying every day and applying like 20 per day, and
Oh,
Sometimes when I'm not applying, when I now finally start applying the next day, I make sure that I cover up. Like I was just giving it back to back, back to back. Some people just apply for one per day and they wait for the next 2, 3 weeks, waiting for that particular trust to get back to them before they continue
oh, you don't have,
application. You
yeah,
don't do that. Yeah,
yes, not at
please don't do that. You just have to keep going, keep up. Even when you get interview offers, like interview invites, still keep applying because you're not sure how you're going to do in that interview. You're not sure if they
absolutely.
are going to take you or not. You just have to keep applying just so you don't waste your time. You don't, slag and all that. So yeah, so it took 3 months for that, and then from the say done my interview and then I've gotten the job offer to the time I finally finished everything was, 5 months. Yeah,
Okay.
5 months. So I did get my job offer December, and then the documents processing and all that took 1 month. That's submitting my document for them to actually say, okay, this is valid, you are complete and all that. Took 1 month, and then from that, after they've validated that, they have to start processing my COS, certificate of sponsorship, and that was what actually took time. So that thing took like
Okay.
about 2, 3 months for them to actually, put it down together. Say 2 months. And then when I finally got my certificate of sponsorship, the next thing was visa application, which took another period, like length of time on its own. That took like 6 weeks for me to get my visa ready. It was during the Ukraine war at that time, so I'll probably blame it on that. But it took like 6 weeks, which was almost 2 months. And then the flights didn't take any time. So yeah, 5 months between the time I got my job offer to when I finally booked my flight ticket, and then 3 months for my before I was able to get a job offer. Yeah. So
Okay. So the overall process took about roughly 8 months, 7 to 8 months for everything to
one
be
year,
to.
because we are taking out the exam period out of this now. We didn't add the
Yes,
exam, the period I took
yes.
for my, yeah. So 1 year everything.
Okay. Yes, the exam period is out of it because for that one you are not so sure, but you're
Yeah.
sure that once you have those exams covered, then
Yeah.
you can start the process. So
That's
your
true.
job search took about 3 months. So like what she mentioned, she was very intentional about her job search. So she
Yeah.
was so consistent, she was so persistent in the job search, and until she landed the job, until
Yeah.
she got her offer letter and everything before she stopped. So if you're
Exactly.
applying for jobs, don't give up. I've been applying and I've not gotten any calls back. You should
Just
apply until you get the call back for interview and you get the confirmation that you have gotten the job. She was
yeah.
sending like 20 applications per day, at times even more, and a total of about 400 applications total. My God, kudos to you. That's great. So she
Yeah.
did all of that, and when she was able to land the job with the trust, she now started documentation processes, processing her certificate of sponsorship, visa,
Yeah.
then the flights, and boom, she found
And
herself in the
one more thing I should add, even after
oh,
you've gotten a job offer, you've
yes.
gotten a job offer, please don't stop applying. It's a very
Oh,
candid advice. Yeah. Because sometimes you might just get to halfway, like almost done, and then they will say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't give certificate of sponsorship. We are not allowed to employ from red listed countries. We had lots
oh,
of nurses that were in that situation. They've
oh.
stopped applying long ago. They've gotten the job
Mhm.
offer. They are doing their processing. Certificates of sponsorship time, they said they can't take them, that it's a red list. Nigeria is under the red list, and that's why agencies are currently not working. One of the reasons why they are no longer recruiting from Nigeria, that's through agencies, that you now have to apply directly.
Directly
So
by your
yeah, it got to that stage for some people, and they were, dropped, like totally.
oh,
They had to start all over again. So until you actually book your visa, don't
apply.
stop.
No, you get your visa. Yes.
Don't stop. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just
Okay.
sister to sister, sister to brother. I'm just trying to,
So please, please, please don't forget this very candid advice. Even
seriously.
after you've gotten the confirmation that you have the job, do not stop applying just in case of, had I known, just in case of
Yeah.
unforeseen occurrences. Keep
Yeah.
applying until you get your certificate of sponsorship and eventually your visa. Then
Yes.
you're 100% sure, because she mentioned that Nigeria is unfortunately on the red list. So you need to
Yeah.
apply. There are no agencies coming to
Yeah.
recruit nurses or midwives from Nigeria. Very good.
That's
So with respect to the educational certificate required, is it a
yeah.
bachelor degree in midwifery that is required, or a diploma, or both?
Okay, it's just actually diploma. But if you
Oh,
have a
great.
bachelor's degree directly, you're good to go. But
Okay.
the minimum is diploma. You just have to have the skills. Like you have to be registered with Nursing and Midwifery Council, and that's all you need. So whether you got
Oh,
it through a school of nursing, college of nursing, as long as you register with Nursing and Midwifery Council, that's the criteria that is needed. It doesn't matter where you get it from, university, school of nursing, midwifery. It's just you just have to be Nursing and Midwifery registered. Yeah,
so you mean with a nursing degree or diploma, one can still apply for midwifery jobs?
absolutely.
Really? Wow, this is awesome. Wow, I've never ever known this. I know you must have your certificate must carry diploma in midwifery or bachelor's degree in midwifery before you can.
No,
Oh,
it doesn't
wow.
have to carry. You don't have to, graduate from university before you can, get a job. At some point, like very, very early in my career, just after graduating from School of Midwifery, I did have this notion before, like, and that was why I took the jam form, went back to the university because I wanted to have a degree that actually, be able to speak for me and that I can use to actually pave ways in my career. But I got to
Yeah,
realize later that it's just the skills that is necessary. As long as you went to a school of nursing, school of midwifery, and you have that, 3 years basic midwifery or basic nursing program done, you are good to
training.
go. You're good to
Wow.
go. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So it means you applied with your diploma in nursing and midwifery, and you were able to land a job. This is great.
Yes.
And your the job description was for a midwife or a nurse.
A midwife. So you have nursing jobs, you have midwifery jobs. You know what you want to. Once you put that keyword there that I want to apply for midwifery jobs, they'll bring all the midwifery for you. It's on track job. So if you say you want to apply for nursing jobs, just put the word nurse there and everything
Yeah.
related to nursing will pop up. Both the specialist roles and everything. Put the required bands that you're looking for, which is like band 5 for our level,
Okay.
and then it just pops up. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And also, did you require any prior experience, maybe in the labor and delivery unit or in
Yeah.
units of the hospital before landing the job?
Yeah, yeah. So they do require, like in the job description, like, person specification, what they need. They do, most of the jobs say at least have 1 year experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Most
Okay.
of them
At
say
least
at least have 1 year experience. But, you know, you just, if you're able to actually gather your experience from different places,
yes.
volunteer places and all of that, you're able to gather it and it makes up 1 year and all that, you're good to
Yes.
go. So say for instance you didn't work up to 1 year in the hospital, you only work for like 5 months or 6 months, and you actually did volunteer nursing roles in other places or health centers and all that. If you're able to combine both of them and get necessary referees from the two of them, get a referee
Yes.
from the place you did your volunteer, whatever it is, and get your referee from the hospital as well. They are able to speak for you that, okay, actually yes, this person did
It's
this.
a,
That's
okay.
all you need. Yeah, that's all you
Wow.
need.
So it means even while you're preparing your documentation for this transition, for this process, you can still be gathering your experience so
Just
that
be
you'll be able
gathering your
to.
experience as you're going, as you're doing your exams, be gathering your experience as you're writing, applying for it, just be gathering. Yeah.
Okay. So you need, so like Joy mentioned, you need at least 1 year of working experience in any nursing sector. Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long
Okay.
as you're working and it's actually aligns with the job role you're applying for. Most
Yeah,
of the
like,
jobs, registered nurse working in the hospital, working in, you just have to be working and have the skills, like, okay, I can do this thing, I'm confident in this and all that. Yeah.
okay. Wow, great. So when you now got to the UK, what happened next? What was the next procedure you had to follow? How long did it take for you to actually start work?
Yeah, so as soon as I got to the UK, it's a weekend on Saturday. On Monday, I resumed duty. So I had that one
Oh,
day to walk around. And the duty I started wasn't actually nursing, it wasn't midwifery, rather. I was placed on a band 4 because I've not gotten my NMC registration complete yet. So to get your NMC registration complete, NMC UK, you have to write your OSCE. You have to sit for your OSCE. So until I did that, I wasn't recognized as a midwife in the UK. I was only recognized as a support worker, band 4 midwife support worker. So that's the bands they place you on when you're just coming from Nigeria. You've not done your OSCE, you've not done your practical exam. So as soon as I resumed that Monday, I started attending trainings. The trust was training me. Yeah, they had
okay.
allocated persons training me in the OSCE. They've already booked my OSCE at this point, even from Nigeria. Before I came into the UK, they've already booked my OSCE in the university here. So they started training me for
Wow.
that, and then I was also going to work as a band 4 partially, and also doing my supernumerary. So when I go to work, I'm working as a supernumerary, like shadowing other midwives, seeing how they
Yeah.
do things, seeing
Yeah.
how things going on in the world, and also assisting with those minute things like that. Yeah, until I got my OSCE, got my pin from NMC, and then I was now working as a midwife, band 5 midwife.
Yes,
And this
congratulations.
took, thank you. So this took, like, I would say, it was supposed to take from May to August. That's 3 months. 3 months for me to get my pin, but I had my date of exam shifted for unforeseen due to unforeseen circumstances. Yeah, and I had to sit for it in October instead of August, which made it 5 months for me. So
Okay.
normally it should have been like within 3 months. Sometimes as soon as you come safe, they book your date of OSCE depending on the dates that is available. They book it for
Okay.
almost a month from when you came in. So you have to write it within that 1 month. If you get it within a week, your pin comes out, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it comes out, and you're a band 5, you're a band 5 nurse. So it can take as little as 1 month. It can take as much as 6 months, depending on the dates available for you.
Okay. What's that OSCE? How is it spelled? Is it like occupational health and safety something or
No, objective structured clinical examination. That's
okay.
OSCE. Objective structured. It's just the part 2 test of
Oh,
competence for nurses and midwives. So the part 1 is the CBT exam that you have to write, paper
home.
based, computer based. Yeah, computer based testing. That's the part 1 test of competence. Then the part 2 is the OSCE, which is the practical. You have to
I
practicalize
see.
it. Yeah.
Oh, how hard it is? What is the passing ratio for this OSCE? Do some nurses fail it by any chance or
Well, so the new one has like 10 stations. There isn't stations. Like normal nursing exam, practical exams, where before you graduate you have to do this
yeah,
practical exam at the end, go from station to
yeah,
station,
yes.
describing things. I discard my patients, I wash my hands, I do
Yes.
this. Yeah,
Just
so
those. Okay.
it's just
Nothing
it's
else to
just
do.
like that. Yeah, it's just like that, and it has 10 stations for our midwifery. It has 10 stations. I'm sure it also has the same for nursing as well, but I'm not so sure
Okay.
about that. But mine had 10 stations altogether: assessment, planning, implementation, and evaluation stations, which is four, like
Mm-hmm.
API. You have to
Yes.
assess a patient, you have to
Assess.
plan the care,
Yeah.
implement the
Yes.
care, evaluate. Then you do
Mm.
other emergency scenarios as well. Postpartum hemorrhage,
Mm-hmm.
sepsis, breech. For midwives. Now I'm talking in midwifery term.
Placenta abortio, placenta previa.
Exactly. So professional value stations, evidence-based practice, and things like that. So
Like it's
altogether,
a
10.
whole. You're okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Joy mentioned that when she got to the UK, she had to start her training for the OSCE, and it took 5 months just because of some unforeseen occurrences. But if there are available dates, you can get your OSCE done within as little as even 1 month. And these
Yeah.
are practical trainings. These are the practical tests. They are the same things we do back home. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't scare anyone, it shouldn't scare you. She was able to go through it. You just need to prepare, be confident,
Mm.
and know exactly what you're supposed to do. And after that, you get your PIN to become a band 5 midwife, and there you are.
Okay.
You wear the chapeau of the band 5 midwife, and journey
The badge of
completed.
honor.
Oh, great. And the journey completed. That's it. You start working fully.
Yeah, you start working. So during your period of working, that first period, you'll be supported in the work because you're still
Yes,
just starting and
of
you're seen as a
course.
preceptor, a
Yes.
supernumerary as well, but also a preceptor. So you're completing your preceptorship pack, which is a pack that tells you the necessary skills you should have completed as a band five. So if you don't know a particular thing, you ask questions around, you ask questions in the world, you have support from your fellow, nurses and midwife, or things that you're not so sure of how to use, for instance, in the world, because the practice in Nigeria is slightly different from that in the UK. So
Of
there are some
course.
equipment that you're not used to.
That you have
Yeah.
never seen, you only read in books.
Seriously,
I face
seriously.
that, yeah, I know.
You don't want to go
No,
there.
let's not go there. That's a discussion for another day.
Another day, absolutely, seriously. So that's just it. They actually give you the necessary support, like over support that you need, and you're comfortable in your role, practicing and all of that.
All right. So
Yeah.
how long does the preceptorship relationship last? Like how long do you shadow your preceptor? For like
Yeah,
2 months, 3 months, or
as for as long as you're comfortable with,
okay.
like
Okay.
as soon as you're comfortable doing those things, for as long as you're comfortable with, can be 2 months, 3 months. When you tell them, okay, I can do this on my own now, I can work on my own, then you stop being a supernumerary, what we call supernumerary or shadowing, and then you're still
Okay.
completing your preceptorship pack. You go to work, you're doing things, you're working, and filling out those bits in the book. Okay, I've been able to complete this, you tick it. I've been able to do this, you tick it, and all that. So depending on how long you're comfortable, but the preceptorship is like 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
preceptorship for you to complete it is like 1 year. And for midwives, after we complete it, we go over to being a band six. But nurses, it doesn't come that easily for them. They have to, I think they have to apply for it before, something like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So it's like you go through that period. It's like a probation period, I can say.
Mm-hmm,
Once
mm-hmm.
you get it done, your ban increases. It goes
Yeah.
up. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really nice. Good for
Yeah.
midwives, anyways. Very nice.
Yeah.
So how are the working hours there? How are your shift systems, the working hours, and all that?
Yeah. We work 37.5 hours per week.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like 12 hours shift a day or night. So if you're doing night, if you're doing days, 12 hours. If, for instance, you're resuming 8 a.m. in the morning, you're closing 8 p.m. at night. If you're resuming 7 a.m., you're closing 7 p.m. like that. So you work 12 hours shift per day or per night and 37.5 hours a week. What does that mean? It means that you're working at least 3 days in a
Three.
week. Yeah, working 3 days in a week and having the other 4 days off. So your shift is missed, like scattered in that week. But sometimes it can be arranged as well. You can have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday you're working, which can be usually stressful. It's actually more preferable if you have it scattered, but dependent. So you're working 3 days in a week, having 4 days off. Then the last week of the month, you're working 4 days and having 3 days off. That would complete it, the 37.5 hours per week in the whole
Mm.
month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's nice. So what is the starting salary for a band 5 midwife in the UK averagely?
Yeah, that's like about 27 to 28,000 per annum. 20.
About how many pounds per hour?
Yeah, 14, like roughly 14 pounds per hour.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so
And
that
once you
should give
go,
you like 2,200 pounds per month. Yeah, two thousand two
oh,
hundred pounds per month as a band five. Yeah.
okay, that's very nice.
But you
And
have
how
you have
about
to subtract
accommodation?
us.
Sorry.
You have to subtract tax. They will remove tax
Of course.
money.
Of course.
Yeah, they
Even
remove
back then
tax.
they was got tax, so that is it. In the
Exactly.
UK,
Well, tax
that
is
is
not so much though. Maybe 100 to 200 pounds, depending. So
wow.
depending on what you're
Hey,
receiving that month, they take away the tax money from me, take the tax aspect out. Then yeah, you're good to
at
go. So
least
you
you,
might end up going home with £2,000 roughly.
wow, which is good.
Yeah.
Very, very, very impressive.
Mm.
And how about the accommodation? Does your trust by any chance provide you with accommodation during your first few months of being there, or you need to take care of that yourself?
Yeah, so most of the trusts, almost all the trusts, all the trusts to start with, they give you accommodation when you newly come. Like from Nigeria, they already booked an accommodation for you. So it now varies between trusts how many months they're giving you for that first time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
some give you 3 months free accommodation, some give you 1 month free accommodation, some 2 months free accommodation. But at least I
Oh,
think the highest is 3 months. I have not
oh,
seen any more than that. My trust gave me 3 months. They are a good trust. So the
wow.
highest is 3 months, and from that 3 months you can start looking for your own accommodation. But that first 3 months is free. They transport you from the airport down to the accommodation. They book a taxi for that. They give you like foodstuffs to start your life with because you might not,
Mm.
get yeah,
Oh my.
yeah,
Wow. Wow, they really make your life like make your life really easy, help you to really
easy,
transition
yeah,
because you have a new place. It's new for you. Everything
yeah.
is it's new. You need to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. So
What
it makes
about
it.
possibilities? Yes, please.
Sorry.
Any possibilities of maybe for people who have families, people who have dependents, who may
Yeah,
be in with their dependents?
yeah,
Is it
yeah.
possible?
Yes, there is space for dependence on your COS, certificate of sponsorship. So, if for instance you have husband, you have children, you have two husbands, 5 children, 20 children, you can bring them over. Yeah, there is space
Okay,
for that. There is space for dependence as long as you're able to provide for them with your
for them.
salary. You're able to rent an accommodation for them. So when you have family and you're coming immediately with them, like that same time you're coming, you don't
Yeah.
have provision for them in that accommodation they're giving you. You have to rent for them outside, unless you
Okay.
decide that okay, let me come first and then my family can come later after I've settled down, get an accommodation,
Mm-hmm.
then fine. But everything they are providing for you is just for you, and there is space for dependents, there is space for your family in your COS, but no provisions for them. You
Okay.
understand?
Well,
No provisions for them in terms of accommodation, food, and all that. So
I
it's not there. So
get.
you have to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. What is the overall living expenses with this? Maybe take back home check of about £2,000. What's the overall living expenses? I hear people complain a lot that the UK is super duper expensive. So when you take out rent and other expenditures, do you
yeah,
still have something reasonable to keep for yourself and to send back home for sure? We are Africans. We always have responsibilities back.
yeah, yeah. I would say, let me just break it down like how much you spend so that I can't give a rough estimate because people's spending expenses, like spending rates differs. So, but
Sure.
like accommodation per month would cost you, if you're living alone, you're a single living alone in a shared
Yeah.
apartment, it costs you like
Okay.
from 400 to 600 pounds for a single room, 400 to
Oh,
600 pounds. So if you're having if you want to a self-contained of one bedroom flat, have everything to yourself, the kitchen and the toilet. So shared accommodation doesn't have all of this. You have to share it with other people. That's what is meant by shared accommodation. You have to share with other tenants. But if you want to have all of like self-contained now, you have to have
yeah.
everything to yourself. So it's about, some the cheapest would be 600 pounds, 700 pounds, 800 pounds, you understand. Then if
Yeah.
you're living in a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, say you have a family, or you decide to live a big life, or you're living a 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartment, you're spending like from 800 pounds to 1,200, 1,500 pounds per month for accommodation.
Okay. Okay.
You understand? So depending on how many rooms or the kind of house you want to rent, so you
I see.
understand that part now. You know how much you have to give for accommodation out of that money, that salary you're receiving at the end of the month. So from that 400 to 1.5, and then you're talking about feeding expenses. I mean,
Mhm.
food I would say is cheap, but
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it. You get food stuff like £1, £2, as little as that, £3. But then you keep buying and you keep buying. You feel, I have so much money to spend. But at the end of the day, you find out that you spend Essex because you're looking at those money as small. £1, £2. £1 can be for just mangi, for instance, or this thing, and you have to buy so many things.
£1 is lots of money in Cameroon, France, in our currency. It's a lot.
Same with ours. Same with ours. If you convert £1 to naira, it's like
Yeah,
900 naira. And that
exactly.
900 naira, it can feed a family for 1 month in Nigeria. But you just use it to buy only mangi here. You understand? So that's the that's the kind of thing that we've not fully understand how to get ourselves accustomed to and get adjusted with.
Me too.
Because I mean, you look at it like we have to convert every now and then. How can I just pay this
Please,
amount of money?
let's stop converting. Otherwise, you go crazy.
So and it's still a big challenge for us. Even after we spend
Yeah.
1 year and all that, we're still struggling with that. And yeah, you can spend as depending on how much you eat, you can spend as much as £100 per food for food a month, or less or more depending on how much you're eating.
Mhm.
You know, and you still have to talk of other things. So for that housing price that I just listed, the accommodation, most of them have all bills inclusive, but the ones that doesn't have all bills inclusive, meaning you have to pay for the bills, light bills, water bills and all that,
Yeah.
you have to pay extra money. So it's just slight differences, maybe by £50, £100 depending. And so that's it. Then you talk about other expensive money you have to send home and
Hmm.
thereabout. Transport
Oh,
is also there as well.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, how has your experience working in UK been? What can you say about it? Do you feel very
Mm.
comfortable? Are you very okay, or you still have prospects of moving to elsewhere?
I think that's something we have to think about, sit down and think properly about. But I mean, life in the UK is not bad. It's not bad. You
Okay.
just have to be able to manage yourself. You have to be able to sit down, manage yourself very well. Say, despite the task, despite the living expensive, sis, I can do this. Tell yourself, I
Okay.
can do this. And yeah, for those that have children, so just giving this tip for those that have children, which they might be aware of now. You know, children, the school fees for your kids are free up
Okay.
till they get to level 15 or so. Grade 15 is free, so they don't pay for
Oh,
school
very
fees.
nice.
They
I
don't.
heard that. So it sounded so nice.
Yeah, they don't pay for school fees. They don't buy reading materials, books, and all that. So that's also a plus, a bonus for them. And yeah, although they say healthcare is free, it's actually difficult to get sometimes because unless you're having a very urgent thing, emergency gets easier help here than basic level or coronary headache and all that. The emergency
Yeah.
where you're having an emergency, you get help easily. Ambulance is everywhere to take you to get the necessary help, and it's free of charge. Healthcare is free. You pay for your NHS and all that every month. You pay for health insurance, national health insurance every month, but it's free of charge. At the end of the day, when you want to access healthcare, it's free. But you have to pay that thing every month. Um, they deduct it from your salary as a nurse, so it can be like £100 or less, and that's that. Every other thing.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Joy has elaborated this very, very well for us. You have an idea of the procedure on how to get a job, how to
Mm.
transition from overseas to the UK, and also about living expenditures in the UK. At least you have an idea. And if you want to move with your dependents, it's also
Yeah.
very possible. Just weigh the size of your pocket and you're good to go
The
with
yoga
your
to go seriously.
All right. And I hope I mentioned earlier, Joy has a YouTube channel also, and she provides so many useful information about living in the UK, about nurses, midwives, and many, many other tips. So I'll leave her link in the description. Please, please, please do go and show her some love. Subscribe to her YouTube, and
Thank
you'll
you.
be fed with valuable information on the go, always, always.
Thank
So, what
you.
final word do you have for our subscribers today? Any final word for our subscribers today?
Well, I don't know, depending on the stage you're in your process, if you're applying or you're already in the UK, you're thinking of what to do depending on the stage you're in. So if you're still in the application stage or writing off exam stage, and you're probably getting frustrated with the process, because some of us did during our time. We did get tired at some point, like this is not coming forth and we don't know what's happening. Is it because you're no longer employing from red listed countries, Nigeria? And are we going to be able to get a job finally? And all that, we ask ourselves that question. You're going to get a job, you get a job because other people have gotten it before you, and the red listing did
Yes.
not stop them. And the news keeps flying about here and there, and every day it comes up, it's like a fresh news to us. It seems like it just came out yesterday, but it's been there for years and it didn't stop people like us. So it's not going to stop you as well. You just have to keep the faith alive, keep applying, and keep the prayer, keep praying and all that, and just motivate yourself. And if you have anything you're doing, say this process or any other thing in your life as a whole, just put in all the work, put in all the motivation. Don't give up. Don't treat it anyhow. Treat it with all seriousness, and you get there at the end of the day. And I wish you all success, good luck, whatever stage you're in. I'm rooting for
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, in a whole nutshell, if you want to move to the UK, despite the fact that your country is on the blacklist or red list, sorry, red list, like
Really.
Nigeria,
It's
it
like
shouldn't.
blacklist safe. You are not wrong.
Okay. So despite the fact that your country is on the red list or blacklist, whatever, it didn't
Yeah.
stop Joy. Joy was unstoppable. She was able to achieve her dreams no matter how difficult it was. So
Yeah.
don't give up. Get your IELTS exams done and dusted. Get your CBT. Apply, send those applications directly. Don't pay anyone money to do those things for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Liaise with trust, get your job, get your interviews done, get your certificate of sponsorship, your
Mm.
visa, transition
Mm.
to the UK, get your OSCE exams done, and you're already a full-fledged midwife in the UK.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Yeah.
there is nothing impossible in this. So whenever there is a will, there is a way, no matter how hard the situation might be.
That's true.
And be very, very intentional about your dream, about achieving
Mm.
this. Don't let
Mm.
anyone discourage you. Nigeria
Mm.
is on the red list, but then many nurses, many midwives are leaving Nigeria to
That's true.
UK. What about other countries? What about my fellow Cameroonians? Come on, we can do this.
That's
Ghanaians,
true.
Zimbabweans, Zambians, all my subscribers, we can do this. Let's get everything we need ready. You can combine your two IELTS results and you can still achieve your dreams. Thank you immensely, Joy, for
Thank you.
staying tuned, for being with us and providing us this valuable information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear viewers and dear subscribers. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you follow
Uh,
Joy on our channel as well and show her some love. I wish you all the best. Don't give
Thank
up
you.
and see Joy hopes to see you soon in the UK.
Of course.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a
All
nice
right.
day. Bye
Bye.
bye.
All right.